Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. And let's continue unpacking me-related characters. Me is the cover without the chimney. And today is major Chinese characters that if you learn Chinese a little bit, because all of us, when we learn second language, we are required to read, write, speak, listen, right? At least four of the ways of input and output, audibly or visually. And 写, today's character, is write. So visually, write down your thoughts out. So it's output by writing, by visual expression. Okay, we see the traditional 写 looks quite different. And in fact, this contemporary simplified Chinese 写 was said to be one of the kind of cursive ways. So when the calligraphers, when they make a flowy way to go through the whole passage, they may simplify. And you can see kind of structurally, this kind of look like that. And this four dots is simply just one horizontal line, connect them all. And this complicated structure that's related to teeth was, again, simplified with just one horizontal line and the top and bottom connected by this shape. So traditional Chinese is closer to what it used to be like. By checking out this seal script 2,000 years ago's dictionary, we see, okay, the bottom here, even traditional Chinese got certain things simplified out. Here is way more than just four dots with this half wrapper thing. This in Chinese symbolize long feathered birds. Chinese has two types of birds. One is short feather fluffy birds. That's you can visually see the feather was kind of going horizontal because gravity didn't pull them down. But here you see this big bird by have this long feather and gravity pulling them down. So that's my interpretation. And this is kind of the claw of the bird, kind of a grabbing, and that you can visibly see that claw. That means it's quite a talon, kind of talon-looking claw. Okay, big bird here. The top, however, is a kind of teeth that's kind of sharp. And we've seen this symbol in the mouse or rat symbol. That simply means the type of a rodent with lots of teeth and probably do damaging to your crops with their teeth, right? So teeth become the sharp feature of their for the rat or mouse symbol. What the teeth have to do with the bird there? I mean, do birds ever have teeth? I don't recall so. They have beak. I don't know how they chew down things. Do they use their teeth? Anyhow, in this case, Chinese express this long feathered birds with teeth equipped there. And as a particular kind of bird in Chinese, it's kind of a good bird, magpie. So magpie with this teeth, I guess the teeth doesn't mean this magpie got a beak full of teeth. I mean, picture that. Probably generative AI can create a teethful bird look, but I don't see it in pictures. That's probably this mouthful of teeth symbolizing the kind of sound it make, kind of a chewing sound, right? And magpie, the long feathered birds to describe the shape, and the teeth symbol describe the sound the bird makes. So magpie in Chinese probably was considered a pretty noisy bird. But however, Chinese mythology put magpie as the good news spreader. So instead of letting people resent this bird because they were so loud and noisy, somehow Chinese culturally tolerate and even appreciate, kind of a subjectively turn the table of collective attitude toward this kind of bird. Instead of feeling annoyed by magpies here, given the noise, this chewy sound on your ear, Chinese regard magpies are good news spreader. Good news spreader under the roof And we can see traditional Chinese do have the chimney. Somehow in contemporary Chinese, that dot get lost. So this was the mian we have visited for several weeks before. And this was the human shelter, right? Have not just the roof, but the whole wall in there. In a 2D frame, this is the best. Chinese can express this as a self-standing structure that's separating your private from public space. And chimney ventilation, critical. So under your house, your private space, there is this noisy magpie birds. Why it's right? Okay, I put quite some thoughts and chat with AI about how to I kind of lead AI to explain to me in a certain way, because according to scholars, according to what scholars already speculate about the meaning making of so close to scholars, which is writing, the mystery of how Chinese language create a concept of right. Two theories. One is this magpie under the roof. Somehow together, this character means transfer. And another theory is this is not magpie. This is a type of shoes that got wooden sole. Okay, before the invention of contemporary shoes, which got this molded, complicated, cushioned soles. Ancient times, shoes probably for the poor, they would wear some straw, kind of a hand weaving together, soft, cushioned straw. Is it a straw? Some grass weaving thing, right? If you are in a certain social status, can afford a wooden blocked bottom of your feet, so probably provides better durability, better cushioning, like a bigger cushion there. That's probably a higher class kind of footwear. I'm just imagining there. Okay, so that's a particular kind of shoe. And both of them pointing to the middle meaning, which means transfer. Okay, so here is my chat with AI of how does magpie under the roof all of a sudden means transfer. It could be, okay, magpie as the news spreader. It's a symbol of transferring news from the source to other places, spreading the news, right? Versus under the house means you probably are transferring something from your private domain to public. And there becomes writing, because writing means from your private thoughts. That's under your private dome space. Nobody knows what you're thinking until you spread the news. You transfer like the magpie. And supposedly it's good news, right? You don't want probably less motivated to share bad news. Good news spreader, transfer your thoughts from your home to outside. So that's the kind of connecting. And I like the magpie imagery for version to create the meaning of writing, because shoes, okay, we can regard shoes as, you are moving stuff from your house to outside for whatever reasons. So you need to wear shoes, but that's a little bit more tangent than magpie under the roof. Magpie as the news spreader, that the roof symbolizing your private thoughts, to externalize that, to spread your thoughts as if you're that magpie. Okay. 写实, 实 means solid. 写实 means you're realistic in your wording, kind of reporting things, talking about things as realistic as possible. That's 写实, because we have this contrast as a 写意, means metaphorically, like you didn't read things in your story. It's more like a fictional. You make up stories. It's not reality. It's not truthful, factual reporting of what actually happened in your world. You're imagining for alternate universe and come up with some new things, but people living in this reality can somewhat compare and relate to. So that's 写意. 意 means intention. It's not solid. It's not tangible. 意 is this idea. So 写意 is more like you create a story or world to express that idea. It's not based on reality exactly. Okay. 写生, 生, living things. 写生. It's not about writing living things, but it's drawing out living things. So 写生 is a Chinese way to say you go out to nature to observe, to use the eyes to realistically as possible, to draw those living things in your life. That's 写生. It's a term specific to the visual artist category that they have to spend quite some time through training, like Da Vinci, draw eggs. That was, I don't know, that was put into our grade school storybook about this Da Vinci's. Spend hours to try to draw eggs as realistic as possible, and that's the beginning of bring out the talent to give everybody a lesson that you have to put in the efforts, even if at the beginning you seem to tackle a trivial thing, just like drawing eggs, but eventually see what's the end result, right? So that's right, 写 in Chinese, coming from a magpie. You spread your own private thoughts. Thank you for your time.